Good early morning to everyone. And I guess I should say, I should say Happy New Year. It's January 2nd, 2026. And yeah, I hadn't been on here for a while, hadn't really had a whole lot to say on YouTube. Um, and I still really don't, to be honest with you. I've been doing a whole lot more on the Substack live streams on that. I kind of enjoy that more, because it's uncensored. I can be myself a little bit more. I don't have to worry about being punished all the time for what I say or what I share or what I believe or my opinions or whatever else. And I kind of have a little more freedom on Substack. And you know, the live streams are pretty fun to do. Um, got decent showing. A lot more people watch them later once I upload them, and that's fine. That's cool. I understand people are busy and not their cup of tea, and some people enjoy them, some people don't. I get it. Everybody teach their own certain things. Some people, you know, like certain streams, some people don't. And certain topics, some people don't. I get it. But I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I didn't want to ignore the YouTube audience. Yeah, I don't know how much I'll do on YouTube. I mean, I'll share a lot of videos or clips or whatever else that they allow me to. Um, it's still rebuilding the channel kind of thing. When you get a strike, that's what they make you do. You have to go through verification processes or whatever. Just keep sharing stuff to rebuild the channel. So sometimes they'll let things go through, sometimes they won't. I can't share links. So Substack doesn't give me a hard time, really, honestly. At least not yet. So and I'm getting quite a bit of subscribers over there too. I mean, it's not to the level that YouTube is, but I mean, it could get there. Maybe, I don't know. So anyway, if you want to check me out over on Substack, I've shared the link several times, or I suppose I could leave it in the comment section or whatever. Um, yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say hi to everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. Um, having a good New Year so far. I know it just began. Um, Pretty crazy, man. I don't know how else to say it. Pretty crazy. And I will share this with you all, though. I shared it at the end of the last live stream I did on Substack. Because I thought it was interesting, and so since I'm a weird dude, you know, I just thought it was interesting, you know, you know. I'm kind of a self motivated person. I don't need somebody to kick my butt and to motivate me to get me to do things. I mean, I can pretty much do things on my own, I don't really need an alarm clock. I mean, I get up on my own, I mean, I just don't. I'm a pretty self motivated person, right? And some days I feel more inspired and motivated than others. Some days I just like, ah, man, I just want to lay here. And then there are other days where it's just like almost like there's a spring, under me or whatever, that just pops me out of bed and I'm ready to go. Yeah, it just depends. It just depends. I mean, each day's different, right? Well, a few days ago, the last Substack live stream I did, I think it was on New Year's Eve. What motivated me and inspired me to do that was I woke up in a really really good mood, which is cool, when you wake up in a really good mood and motivated and inspired and so forth. But the thing that motivated and inspired me, I don't know if this ever happens to any of you all, but this was weird. And it gets even weirder, even more strange. I'm gonna tell you what happened. For whatever reason, I'm laying in bed, and then a song pops into my head, and it's not something I've heard any time recently until last night. I'll get into that. Very strange, but it wasn't anything that I heard recently. Um, but you know how, growing up or whatever, wherever you grew up at, you maybe your mom or dad like a certain type of music. You hear it in the car all the time. Either, I don't know, running errands, going to church, whatever. Way back, in the 80s, when I grew up, in the 70s and 80s and so forth. And this is strange. um, I guess in your subconscious or whatever, these songs will like pop into your head, even if you haven't heard them for many, many, many years, because you heard them so much growing up. You heard them so much as a kid or whatever the case may be. And it was weird. I'm laying here, and the song from the country group Alabama, Song of the South, came to my head. And see, and that's a group I always kind of liked. I'm not a big country music fan, today's country specifically, but growing up, my dad liked it a lot, and being in the car in the back seat or whatever, he put on, classic country music, like, I don't know what. Groups like Alabama, the Statler Brothers, I guess, Larry Gatlin, and Kenny Rogers, uh, who else? I don't know. Maybe John Denver. I don't know. But like classic country music, Ronnie Millsap. I think I may have mentioned him. But anyway, and I always liked Alabama personally because they had those, get moving, feet tapping songs, songs like 40-hour week for a living, and then Song of the South, if people aren't familiar with it. And I looked up the lyrics earlier. There's not a lot to the lyric, really, to be honest with you. And I'll tell you why I did that in a second. But I heard this song, I mean, it's just like the song just came to my mind on New Year's Eve, and it just like motivated me, inspired me, because it's a catchy song, So song of the South, sweet potato pie, and I shut my mouth. Was it gone with the wind? Something ain't there ain't no looking back again. I think that's what it is. Anyway, so that's just what came to my head, popped in my head. And I'm like, well, that's really weird. And I shared it at the end of the stream, just as some weird occurrence, right? Like, what does this mean, if anything at all? Probably nothing at all. No meaning, no purpose whatsoever. It was just a weird song that popped into my head, right? Well, last night I had to work late, later than I wanted to, actually. And I'm on the road, and it's. I noticed the time because I had the radio on. I have a clock radio, and I looked at the time. It was just after 8 p.m. Eastern, and I'm flipping channels on the radio trying to find something I want to listen to, because I said you're on the road a lot, you're gonna listen to a lot of different stuff, and and I come across this station that I don't remember coming across before, and sure enough, as I'm flipping channels, literally I come across this classic country station, I guess. Like I said, I was never familiar with it before. And literally, I hear the Song of the South by Alabama on the radio station. Right? And I'm just like, so I didn't catch it all, but I caught the part where, and like I said, I looked up the lyrics this morning as well, but I caught the part where it said, um, it talked about Wall Street, and it said somebody said that Wall Street fell, but we were so poor that we couldn't tell. And if you look at the whole lyric of the song, it basically talks about cotton and wheat and, you know, or, and maybe just more cotton than wheat, but anyway. And then it does talk about Wall Street, like I just said, and it talks about falling on hard times. You know, mama got sick, you know, daddy got down, you know, and then how the county took the farm and they moved into town, and, you know, and then daddy started to work for the TVA, bought a washing machine and a Chevrolet. I mean, you got to look at the lyrics. It's pretty interesting, you know. So, Song of the South, right? And so that part, though, about, you know, Wall Street fell, but we were so poor that we couldn't tell, really got my attention. And, uh, you know, for the setting of the song, you know, it says Mr. Roosevelt's going to save us all. So kind of leads you to believe that they're talking about the Great Depression and whatnot. So I just thought about that. And I was just like, this is really strange. This is very weird. And so, being who I am, you know, I decided to look into some other things. And I plan to share more of this on the Substack live stream later if I get a chance to do one. But being who I am, I looked at the pre market for silver because if people haven't been paying attention, and I'm sure you've heard about it, or at least you know something about this, silver has been in the news quite a bit lately, and I was just kind of curious because it's gone up a lot, went up a lot in 2025. Then at the end, there seemed to be like a silver boom at the end of the year. Then all of a sudden, it started to fall. Well, now it's rising again. And when I first looked at it, it was at 74.44 an ounce. So 70, almost $75 per ounce for 1 ounce. And I was like, okay. And then it fell to like 73.95. But that's up from where it was a day or so ago. And so it's in the green now. It was in the red, now it's back in the green. And the speculation is it's going to continue to rise. Silver's going to continue to rise. And I talked about this quite a bit in my, if not my last live stream from the 31st, the previous one. But anyway, it's very interesting to me because for whatever reason, I woke up with that song in my head. Then it literally came on the radio last night. Of all times, of all songs, flipping stations, flipping channels, I mean, that song is the one that was literally on the radio when I flipped the channel. And I continued to listen to the station. I'm like, oh, okay, because this I kind of like this classic country music kind of stuff. Then the song, I think from Leanne Womack, I Hope You Dance, came on after that. That's a great song. I don't know if people are familiar with that song, but I remember that song from way back. You know, I Hope You Dance, great song by, I think it's Leanne Womack. And then after that, they just started playing stuff I didn't like at all. So I turned the station or turned it off or whatever. I don't remember what I did. I think I started listening to the football game after that. But anyway, which was really good, really, really good. People were football fans at all. You know, Ole Miss took out Georgia. That was awesome. Sorry if you're a Bulldog fan, but I'm not. As a matter of fact, it was very enjoyable for me personally because all the teams I can't stand, Ohio State, Alabama, and Georgia, were all dethroned. Bama took a major beat down. The Bama beat down, I call it. Indiana just owned them. And then Miami took care of Ohio State. It's not like I'm a Hurricanes fan, Miami Hurricanes fan at all, but I prefer them over Ohio State. And I'm so tired of both Alabama and Georgia. Just tired of them. So I thought it was really cool since Ole Miss, lost their coach. He decided to bail and go to LSU. At a critical time. You got to give those guys some credit, man. I mean, wow, what a great game. But anyway, so yeah, I started, listening to a football game or whatever because I enjoy that kind of stuff. So anyway, but getting back to this whole thing with silver, it's very interesting to me that I woke up hearing that song in my head, and like I said, it really inspired and motivated me because it's just a catchy song. It's a motivating, I don't want to say encouraging, just fun. We'll just say it's fun song. Like 40-hour week. They're just fun songs. Maybe not lyrically, but the musically, the way they, it's toe tapping, kind of thing. Anyway, I don't know how else to say it, describe it, but I don't know, folks. This year so far, I I don't want to make this real long because, like I said, I'm gonna talk a lot about this stuff in my Substack later. I really don't want to make this too long, but let's just say if you haven't been paying attention, if you're not aware, it started out pretty bad. A lot of people didn't see the new year in this Swiss Alpine resort. Last I heard, 47 people were killed in a fire at a Swiss Alpine resort and like over 100 injured. And then my friend Will sent me something from, uh, I guess, the Netherlands. I'm not exactly sure where, but like this Dutch church caught on fire. I don't remember where it was actually, but this Dutch church caught on fire too. So fires, explosions, and then the protest in Paris, and of course Iran. You know, it's like I said, I'm not going to make this too long. I'm not going to get into too many things, but just pay attention to the news. About what's happening around the world. May not be in the United States, but around the world. There's some crazy stuff: protests, fires, riots. Um, like I said, just it's a lot of people didn't see the new year. They or if they got into it, they barely got into it. I mean, I think this happened on New Year's Eve, I believe. Maybe New Year's Day. I think it was New Year's Eve though. I'm not exactly sure, but the protests and the riots and stuff that I know the one in Paris started on New Year's Eve. So it was like a lot of places they did cancel their New Year's Eve celebrations. Maybe not so much in the United States as much as other areas, but because they were concerned. I think Tokyo did because they were concerned about the violence. So, pretty crazy way to start the year, and today's only January 2nd. So, pretty devastating, pretty horrific that some people they just didn't even see the new year. Didn't even get a chance, hardly. I mean, that's how fast things happen sometimes. It's very, very unfortunate. But anyway, like I said, I'm not going to make this too long. It's mostly just to kind of say hi, and I hope you all are having a great year so far. Yeah, on the Gregorian calendar, I think it all started in September or whatever for the new year. But anyway, that's just me. But this is the calendar we use and that we follow in this country and elsewhere and whatnot. Um, so I hope you all are doing well, being safe. If you got some time off, I hope you're enjoying it, with friends, family, whatever. And I really don't know how many of these I'll do. You know, I just, like I said, I just want to say hi to everybody. And, you know, thank you once again for everybody that has, you know, morally supported me through over the years on both the channels and um, the one that was taken down in this one, and I do appreciate it. I thank you for your comments and your prayers and just your concern and just hanging out with me, you know. So, um, but that's about it, I think. Um, so y'all take care. Be blessed. Be safe, man. Be safe out there. It's getting dangerous. It's getting real dangerous. So, plead the blood. Be safe. And maybe I'll talk to you another time on here. Like I said, I really don't know how many more of these I will do on this channel. I'm really tired of the censorship. I'm really tired of getting punished all the time. I'm really tired of it. I'm just fed up with it. I really am. It's just ridiculous. So, but I might you know, drop a video or a message. Not really a video. You're just seeing a black screen. A message every so often. Just say hi and catch up with people. See how you're doing. But mostly, I think I'm gonna stick with Substack. Why they allow me to doing live streams over there. People can actually see things there, and I can share a little bit more. And like I said, be even more of myself, whether people like that or not. I'm pretty much uncensored, unfiltered. Not like TVMA kind of stuff for the most part. I mean, I just much more opinionated, and I share a lot more personal stuff and about myself mostly, and I just feel like I'm uncensored, so I can be a little more free over there. So that's what I'm doing. So, all right, y'all take care. Have a great day. Be blessed. I'll talk to you some other time. Probably, maybe. Don't know when. I guess we'll just see how the year goes. All right, take care. Bye bye.